Darragh Collopy, as we're recording, is still fighting for his life in hospital after a terrible accident when a scooter and a van collided.
Yeah, a scrambler bike and a van.
A scrambler bike.
Yeah, a scrambler bike and a van collided on the junction of Ballymun Road and Collins Avenue. So just kind of as you're coming off the main road there, coming into Drumcondra area. This was on Monday afternoon. So we actually were checking with the guards today and he's still in a critical condition. So Darragh Collopy was on the pillion. He was a pillion passenger, so he was in the back of the scrambler bike. The van, whoever's driving the van didn't sustain injuries, but the two people on the scrambler bike sustained serious injuries. But Darragh seems to be particularly badly injured and, is fighting for his life. There's obviously grave concerns for him, and his condition's still the same. And I suppose why we're talking about him is that we actually did a big piece on Darragh Collopy in recent months. He is a known associate of Mr. Flashy, Glen Ward, and he was actually involved in a kind of high-profile violent disorder incident with Mr. Flashy and his brother Eric O'Driscoll. They all received suspended jail sentences for that only a couple of months ago. But now obviously things are looking quite bad for him.
And is he suspected of other crimes?
He's an associate of Mr. Flashy, and he does have convictions for drug dealing. He was caught with a large quantity of cannabis there a few years ago, and he was given I think it was several years in prison for that. And then he got out of that jail sentence in in recent enough times. And then he was involved in this fracas. I think it happened at Finglas. Obviously, all three lads are from Finglas in around August 2022, so 3 years ago now. And we have footage up on the site. So
he's only been 18.
Yeah, he would have been only, he's 20, he's 21, 22, so he would have been a teenager.
And Ward is 32 and his brother Eric O'Driscoll is 23.
He's a lot younger,
He's a lot younger, but so the likes of Darragh Collopy would be kind of the next generation nearly with Ward. Ward himself would have been mentored by an older criminal associated with the Kinahan organisation, Trevor Byrne.
Exactly.
And he in turn sort of... after the Kinahan Hutch feud broke out, a lot of people elevated up the ranks very quickly.
And he did, yeah, because we actually been Mr. Flashy, we've probably been writing about him since 2016, 2017 when he was very young, but he's been on the radar since 2013. He was actually named in a cab case for another person as having, been a close associate of Trevor Byrne. And as you said, he moved up those ranks. He would have been, associated with those Carl Hyland, who's a nephew of Marlowe Hyland, and then the Zach Parker, Sean Little, they would have all been his kind of age group, and then they were all murdered. Those I think there was 3 or 4 within a very short period of time. So yeah, he did move up the ranks, and we've actually said before how he after Trevor Byrne fled the country, he was a suspect in the murder of Eddie Hutch as part of the Kinahan Hutch feud, and obviously others have either fled the country or been killed. So he has sort of started to rely on more junior, younger, associates in recent times. And assuming Darragh Collopy is one of them. He's been obviously seen in his company a lot. And
yeah, because that's the sort of trying to just see what the role is. I mean, these younger guys are kind of going around as sort of heavies. If Glen Ward is under, threat, they're going to be there to back him up should anything happen. And there was that kind of stuff happening. Apart from being under threat and it being in fear of being shot.
Yeah.
There was also the chance that they could bump into another crew on the street and everything could break out. Such was the tensions in the area.
Yeah, exactly. And I suppose he took over, Mr. Flashy, when in the wake of these more serious older criminals leaving the area, he took over that drug dealing and it probably expanded out to beyond Finglas into maybe Ballymun, more of those areas in North and West Dublin. And, he did fall foul of other people then. There was obviously a split in the ranks that we've written about in recent times. And James Whelan, he was a former associate of Mr. Flashy and he was shot dead in recent years. Mr. Flashy himself isn't a suspect, but his wider gang is a suspect in the role of that. And then obviously we've also written about Patrick Fitzgerald. He's a much older criminal, but he's also fallen foul of Mr. Flashy. And there was actually, he was actually linked to attempts to shoot Mr. Flashy and his brother Eric O'Driscoll. So it's all been interlinked, but there is a lot of younger people being brought in. And then
what's the deal with these scrambler bikes? Are they not sort of created for off-road?
I don't think so. There wasn't there regulations in recent times about how they were only for off-roads. And I don't know if there's been efforts to change that, but yeah, like there's definitely not something that you'd want.
Because they're noisy?
Yeah, because they're noisy and they're flashy and they're fast, I suppose. And you do hear a lot of these, a lot of the younger criminals and a lot of, attempts at violence are taking place with people using these kind of bikes to get away. But they're definitely not something you'd want one of your children to be using. So it was a bad crash by all accounts, and the van, nobody in the van was injured. So, the scrambler bike took the brunt of it.
Okay.
Yeah. But
and as we say, he's still fighting for his.
He is, yeah.
But, he's packed a lot in.
He has, yeah. He's got 24 convictions, and he's only 21. He might be 22 now. So yeah. So it's been hasn't been an easy life for him by the sounds of it. And then this is, you wouldn't want to hear of anybody in such a circumstance, no matter what they've done. So yeah.
Okay, well, we'll return to this story, no doubt. Eimear, thanks a million.
No problem.
I'm Nicola Tallant, and you're watching Crime World, a podcast about criminals, drugs and the underworld in Ireland and across the globe. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you can be the first to watch all our latest episodes. You can also listen wherever you get your podcasts.